Alright. Flicker Strike, Acolyte of Chayula, Leech, all that fun stuff. Trying to make a build better than Lightning Spear. It's fucking impossible. But here we go. Into the Breach gives us our supports here for free. Warm-Blooded is obviously great. Herbalism is great. Magnetism is great for picking up flames. Right here. Flicker Strike is our main bread and butter. Main thing, what we want is melee skills. Melee skills scales this thing to the moon more than any other spell. That's melee anyway, from what I've seen. So it's pretty great. Want to do that. Hit and run makes it way less clunky to use, so there's not near as much wind up. Maybe like a 0.2 seconds of wind up. Feels really great. Pinpoint critical instead of ambush, just because I feel it's a lot more consistent than ambush, and we're almost crit cap. So obviously the goal is to be crit cap, and also get our critical damage bonus all the way up to 500%. Using a new support gem with Overextend, we have a shit ton of stun threshold, so you can put something else in here if you don't have a shit ton of stun threshold. So this can be, you know, close combat, it could be ambrosia, it could be momentum. I don't feel momentum super consistent, so I don't use it, but Overextend seems to be the best performing one for me. You can put Heft instead of Primal Armament if you're not using Elemental Staff. If you're using a Physical Staff, toss Heft in there, or anything you want. Concentrated Effect, all of those are really good. You can use anything in place of Stormwave. I just like Stormwave. Charge Staff is great. Persistence, Cold Exposure, Lightning Exposure. So this will just be our exposure bot as we get more stuff in there, more skill gems. We need one more skill gem in Infernal Cry to make it the best that it can be. Premeditation, 15% more damage. Gives you rage when you cast it, and this consumes the rage to empower those attacks to do 30% more damage. So I just need a Greater Jewelers. You'll Infernal Cry twice, then Flicker, and that will just get 30% and 15% more damage. So a 45% damage mod on top of 140% of damage as extra fire. So this is literally way more than doubling your damage just by using Infernal Cry. So you're trolling if you don't use this and you're doing Flicker Strike as your primary bread and butter. For the power charges themselves, we've got Sacrifice and Profane Ritual. So this is what it looks like. You weapon swap to a Scepter that has skeletons. You get a shit ton of power charges. You use them to get your charge staff up, and then you get your power charges one more time, and then you're good to go. You don't really need to be doing anything else other than that, because the rest of the map you're going to be doing Reaper's Invocation. So that setup right there is just at the start of the map and when you're doing bossing. Which brings me to Reaper's Invocation. Here's a standard setup for Reaper's Invocation. You want less skill effect duration so the charges come back to you faster, impetus for more energy, and profusion for extra charges as you're using Reaper's Invocation. Reaper's Invocation is if you kill something in melee, you get a shit ton of energy, and then you can use that to get more power charges. We are doing the double Herald. The reason why is because it automates Innervate and Ice Bite, so we're just getting 35% of cold and lightning damage to attacks. So we are doing the 0.1 tech where Herald of Thunder freezes, Herald of Ice shocks, and even though they don't propagate off each other, it still automates Innervate and Ice Bite, so it's really nice. On Herald of Ice, this is really our primary Herald. It's 30% more area of effect, and then I also use Reach, which gives us another 35% area of effect. And if we look here, we still have a 100% chance to hit within 2 meters, so this just makes your Herald way bigger. So it's really nice. It's literally 20% of distance, just for free, essentially. That's all of the skills for gear. Right now I'm using melee skills on my gloves. That's really the primary thing, is damage and melee skills is what you want on gloves. You want melee skills and at least 20 spirit on your amulet, but I have Voracious, so that's enabling me to use the gloves that I'm using. If you're just starting out in this build, you'll want to use Edzeri's Acuity. Voracious is 20% of leech is instant. You need instant leech for the leech mechanics to work correctly, because if you don't have instant leech, you'll get to max mana and you'll stop leeching ES. So really important that you either run that Voracious node or you are running Xeri's Acuity, which is leech from critical hits are instant. And Xeri's Acuity is really great for early mapping too, because it gives you 52, or it's 50. I corrupted these up, but it's 50% increased critical hit chance. It's crazy. Even 30% if you get a shitty one, that's still really good too. Rings is just flat damage resistances, flat damage. My leech is right here, so you do need at least one place where you have leech. Physical attack damages mana. You can get that on ring, glove, or your weapon. But this one's my attributes to get my attribute requirements for everything. We run Subterfuge Mask, so big energy shield helmet for having evasion rating. This is my only source of evasion rating outside of some of my gloves. Even if I take off my gloves, I'm still at 30%, but 38%. I can also get more evasion in the tree. I'm just not taking it right now because I haven't felt that I've needed it. I just went for more damage. But that helmet alone just gives you so much evasion rating. So that's why I'm using a straight energy shield chest, just so that I have as much energy shield as I can here. If we take this off, I have 1200 ES. Put this on, and that alone is 2500 ES. Yeah. Really important is a heavy belt with increased stun threshold. You don't want to be getting stunned. Boots is just as much movement speed and resistance as possible. Belt is a heavy belt with as much resistance as possible. I also have some extra stun threshold here because I'm running that Daze support gem. And then our quarterstaff, I like the bolting quarterstaffs, but the most important thing is the suffixes. Like, it could be like it have no flat damage at all, and if it has these 3 suffixes, I would still prefer using that over even like, let's say it just had like shit suffixes like gains life per attack hit, mana leech, life leech, or something like that. But it was 500 DPS. I would use a one that has like terrible prefixes, like 3 to 6 physical damage, 3 to 6 cold, 3 to 6 fire. I would use that if it had these suffixes over a 500 DPS staff, because these suffixes are so damn strong. Gives us melee skills, gives us critical damage bonus, and all of that fun stuff. Sorry about that. If you guys heard that big loud noise, probably scared the shit out of you. Passive tree. Pretty standard. You can go crit instead of skill speed here. You have some evasion right here. You can pick up these evasion nodes if you need it. You can pick up these evasion nodes if you need it. Attack damage, attack speed, power charges, subterfuge mask, extra cold, crit, power charges, crit, stun threshold, super important right here. Tons of crit right here. Weapon swap for cast speed when we're doing profane ritual. Weapon swap for minion revive speed when we're reviving our minions. Weapon swap for less skill effect duration so that the charges come back to us quicker. Eternal Youth for flasks, apply energy shield. Power charges, gonna pick this up later, but big critical damage bonus. All your quarterstaff nodes really strong, big crit nodes. This will be our Into Darkness spot once we have it. It gives us at least 5. It may actually be 6 notables. So that's just 20% extra damage. It's whatever you want right there. Crit. CI. Energy shield. Pretty standard stuff. And this is a pretty ideal gem. Crit hit. Attack speed, damage with quarterstaves. You can also get crit damage bonus. You can also get attack damage, whatever you want. It's crit, attack damage, attack speed, crit damage bonus. Generally speaking, the best 2 are crit and crit damage bonus, but this one I'm just going to replace with Into Darkness when I can. And that's the skill tree. Quick map for all of you with a low attention. Reduced extra damage from critical hits and enfeeble, so you guys can see what it looks like, even though I have 2 kind of negative modifiers on it. Enfeebles 20% less damage, 40% reduced from critical hits. We'll check it out. Starting the map. Get all your minions. Charge stuff. And then get all your power charges. And then we shouldn't have to do that for power charges the rest of the map. You're going to hold down Q so that your Reaper's invocation is constantly popping. You can see Herald Device is huge because of that AoE increase. And even with reduced damage, twice via Enfeeble and reduced critical damage, we're still cleaning this map up pretty easy. You can yell at me for not picking up the shit. I just want to show you guys what this looks like. If I drop a div though, then you guys will see that I'll definitely pick that up. Charge staff falls off, I generally re-get my charges. Generally once a map or so. Need to do that. That was a pretty decent flicker. There you guys go. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, but I really hope you enjoyed the video.